40-year-old female seeking prosthodontic treatment for her missing upper teeth reported to the clinic. 2.4 and 2.6 were extracted. Okay, this is 2.4 and this is 2.6 which are extracted 1 year ago. A 5-unit metal ceramic FPD with a non-rigid connector was planned for her. This is important. Where should the key of the non-rigid connector be placed for the given case? Okay, a lot of things that we need to revise. First is, what is a pyre abutment? A pyre abutment is the one that has edentulous areas adjacent to it on both sides. Okay, so this becomes a 5-unit bridge. Now naturally, if you give a 5-unit bridge, the amount of flexure that is going to come on this bridge is going to be detrimental to the teeth. So the three parts of an FPD are the pontic, which is going to replace the missing teeth, the retainer covering the abutment teeth, and the connector that is going to connect the pontic to the retainer. So the connector can be rigid or non-rigid. Rigid means it's casted or welded, and non-rigid means there is an attachment or a stress breaker kind of a thing, like a keyway. Okay, so now what is a keyway? I will just tell you. A key and a keyway. In layman words, key is the male component, okay, which is a strut like. A keyway is a hollow component, like a lock. This male component is also known as patrix. The female component is also known as matrix, right? The patrix and matrix are also known as tenon and mortise. So remember, mortise, matrix and ma are female components, which is a hollow component. Patrix and pa are the male components, which is the key to the attachment. So this is the attachment that we are talking about. Now the question says, where should the key or the male component of the non-rigid connector be placed for the given case? So it can be placed on so many options. Either it can be placed on the pontics or it can be placed on the retainer. So you can have it here or you can have it here, either of them. So how do you decide that? So for that, try to understand that it has to be firstly put on the pyre abutment, because that is the abutment of concern and that is the abutment where we are talking about all the detrimental forces to come and act. So it has to come, the attachment has to come on this abutment, right? It will not come on this abutment or this abutment. So mesially or distally, these are the two options. So always the key is placed in the retainer and the keyway is placed on the tooth. Okay, key is placed in the pontic, so the key is placed in the pontic and the keyway is placed on the retainer of that tooth. Now if we place it distally, remember that all teeth by tendency, natural tendency, have the they want to move forward mesially. Okay, so if you remove one tooth, they are all going to drift mesially. So because this area is edentulous, this area is edentulous, the tendency of the teeth is to go mesially like this. So if you put the key on here, on the pontic over here, and the keyway over here, it will have a seating action in the attachment. On the contrary, if you put the key here and the keyway here, then it will have an unseating action because of the mesial movement of these teeth. It may be a micro movement, but it is going to cause an unseating action. So it is better to put the keyway on the distal aspect of the pyre abutment. The keyway being on the retainer and the key being on the pontic, okay, on the distal pontic. So let's look at the option. So on the tooth, key will be present on the pontic like I told you. Okay, so these two are the options. Now on 2.4 distally, if you place on 2.4 here, if you place distally, then it will cause unseating action. On 2.6 mesially, if you place, it will cause seating action. So the correct answer is on 2.6 mesially. The other options are on teeth. Okay, so they are automatically discarded. Keyway will come on the tooth, on the pyre abutment. The key will come on the distal pontic, on the mesial side of the distal pontic. So the correct answer is 2.6 mesially.